Not just in the case of Kinder Morgan or other projects, it really means that when you go through due process, when the regulatory process is followed, when the cabinet and others of the country needed approval, needs to approve things, it gets done. And if we degenerate, as we are, it looks like, into a balkanization kind of situation where not only where even the things that are fully backed up by regulatories and law and the rule of law aren't enforced, then you have a problem. So here's Kinder Morgan, where they have protesters in Burnaby, and the city of Burnaby says they're not going to pay the RCMP officers anymore to enforce the law, in other words, to go and deal with the protesters. So when you have not only not enforcing the rule of law, you have in fact the enforcers being removed by different jurisdictions. You've got a national disaster that has implications well beyond this project and this industry.
But I think it's the clearest language he's ever used on this matter. If we haven't, let's listen to Trudeau's clip again here.
I had a long conversation with Premier Horgan last night in which I impressed upon him the importance of working together and respecting the federal responsibility for protecting things that are in the national interest. This is a pipeline in the national interest, and it will get built.
No one is going to make a deal with John Horgan to get him to work together to get this pipeline done. That's utterly naive at this point. The Prime Minister can say it, but that's not going to happen. What's going to happen if this project is going to be salvaged is if the federal government acts to both enforce and to clarify the situation in the courts. And if that can be done in a credible way, then this project can be salvaged and move on to construction as it should be doing.
But is part of the rule of law giving John Horgan and giving BC the right and the avenue to challenge this to every sort of extent the law that they have available to them? Gwyn?
Well, you know, the reality is that they have done that, and they've lost every time, and they know that, and they know they'll keep losing because there's no rational way in which a court can make any other reasonable decision at this point. So it's you know, Dennis is absolutely right. I mean, there's no way you can negotiate. We've got a strange situation here in BC where we have a three-member rump that controls all of this. It wouldn't be happening otherwise in the Green Party. So there's no negotiation going to happen, but ultimately it comes right down to it. It's going to take a lot of balls, and I haven't seen that this federal government to use what's necessary and the force necessary to accomplish what they say they want to do.
Well, that's as good a point to leave it on as any. Powerful insight from